Hey guys, welcome back. Today I have the spring collection to show you from Drip Drop Nail Paints in a live swatch and review with a couple extras thrown in. First, we are starting in with one of those extras. This is New York 2017, which is a very pinky purple, subtle linear holographic polish. This is absolutely stunning with a super soft shine. You are going to need to be in sunlight to be able to catch that holo. It is very subtle, but as you can see here, it is gorgeous in two coats. That first coat applied extraordinarily evenly with a perfect formulation like Drip Drop is so well known for. This one is outside of the spring 2017 collection, but it does release the same exact day, which is the 12th at 12 p.m. noon. I think that is noon. Yes, I will leave all the details down below. Jumping into the spring collection, this is Quick Step Mambo. It's a yellow. It is definitely a yellow, but it has a lot of green undertones to it. This also is a very subtle scattered holographic polish. These ones here, you'll see the majority of them, I'm going to sound like a broken record, are opaque in 3 easy coats. Not super thin, not super thick. You can see here that the second coat definitely builds up the color and the brightness of it. I wouldn't necessarily call these neons, but they're definitely brighter than a pastel, if that makes sense. And that holo, again, is gorgeous when you catch it in the sunlight. 3 coats builds it to complete opacity, though the third coat doesn't add much depth to the color. It just completely covers that nail line for me. So if your nail line isn't quite as intense as mine, you might be able to get away with 2. Moving on to the green in the collection, this is Let's Salsa, which is a true grassy green. Again, not quite pastel, not quite neon. It's a really, really gorgeous bright green color, scattered holographic. Again, very, very subtle. As you can see here, the formula is perfection. Again, the second coat definitely builds up that color really, really nicely. Another broken record moment, you could probably get away with 2 coats if your nail line wasn't quite as strong as mine. The third coat doesn't add too much color to the overall nail look, if that makes sense. It just completely covers that nail line for me yet again. Next up is Swing into Spring. This is the pink in the collection. Again, not quite pastel, not quite neon. I really love the in-between that these are. Absolutely stunning. Again, this one goes on pretty sheer. All of the spring collection, they are a thinner formula, and you will see why here in a second. The second coat definitely deepens that color, if that's the right word to use with that. It brightens up that base really, really well. The third coat on the pink definitely adds a little bit more brightness to it, but it totally covers the nail line for me. And here is the macro, where you can see all that subtle scattered holographic. These are just so pretty in person. Moving on to the purple, this is Backyard Slow Dance. This is coming off on my computer screen as I am editing this as super purple. This one does have a pink undertone to it, which you can see more in the live swatch. Again, this one does go on pretty sheer with the first coat, but unlike the first 3 that I showed you, this one is completely opaque in 2 coats for me. It dried down absolutely beautiful. Here is the macro, which is pretty dead on to the color in the bottle. And then all 4, again, pretty spot on, maybe a little bit more pink. Next up we have Tango With Me, which is a really good name for this. This is almost, looking at it, it's almost bricky, if that makes sense. It's got a lot of tangerine in it, a little bit of red maybe into the orange. This makes it completely wearable. Again, right in between a neon and a pastel. Absolutely gorgeous. This second coat definitely deepens up that color and completely covers my nail line. For me, this is actually one of my favorites from the collection. Here is the macro. And here is all 4, where you can see all that sparkly goodness coming out underneath those LED lights. Who am I kidding? You leave. Next up, and because I am an awesome YouTuber, I forgot to get a brush and bottle shot of this one, but this is Cha Cha Cha, the blue in the collection. It is absolutely gorgeous and probably my favorite out of the 6 from the spring collection. This one is opaque in 3 coats. As you can see, that second coat really starts to brighten up that base. The third coat adds just a little bit more brightness. You could start off with a white base if you didn't want to go through 3 coats of the color, but I really loved how this looked at 3 coats and completely opaque. Excuse me. The last one that I'm showing you is Stark Naked. This one does not release on the 12th with the other ones, but I wanted to show it to you just in general. I will leave its release date down below. And now we are going on to why I mentioned the thinness of this collection. What I am showing you right now is a water marble of all 6 spring holographic neon polishes. I was really pleasantly surprised with it. I mean, as you can see, I am getting tons of bullseyes out of this collection. There are all 6 in, I believe, 3 rings each, so that's 18 rings, which is phenomenal, especially for a holographic polish. For whatever reason, I find with holographic polishes or shimmer polishes, they tend to dry really fast on the water, which makes them difficult to marble. This collection, however, is amazing. Not only do they stay wet and malleable in the water, they hold their color so incredibly well as the scattered holographic goodness that is in these polishes, which you will see coming up. And there she is, and here is the macro where you can see all of that holo that is still left. I was so impressed. Again, the spring collection, what you are seeing on the screen right now, releases on the 12th at 12 noon. I will leave all of the details, prices, and all of that down below, so make sure you check that out, as well as where you can find these puppies on the 12th. Stay tuned for some art coming up later. Bye, guys.